I'd like to introduce Dr. Beverly Fletcher. Dr. Fletcher was actively involved with the launch of the early negotiations in the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. After having twins with special needs, she retrained in special education law and other disability-related subjects. She now works as a national award-winning advocate to ensure that children with disabilities receive a free and appropriate public education. Bev.
Thank you so much. I'll start with public education since we kind of ended on that note. And I have to say, as was everyone else, probably horrified that the nominee for heading the Department of Education did not know about IDEA, that Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, and then went on to say it should be devolved to the states. Well, this is really a civil rights issue. When IDEA was amended in 2004 and put into effect with just slight modifications over the existing one, but an important modification that I'll mention here, it basically said, states, you are responsible for finding children that are living in your state who have a disability. Then you are responsible for providing them with the specialized education and related services to meet their unique needs and prepare them for further education, employment, and independent living. Right now, it's estimated that 13% out of every 100 children from ages 3 to 21 have some sort of disabilities. They're not all eligible under IDEA. You have to not only have a disability, but be able to prove that it affects your education. So it's a very broad range that fall under that. Some people don't, some people get accommodations. But the idea that you would take what is really the only civil right that's been given to people with disabilities and suggest that Mississippi can decide what it wants to do and Michigan can decide what it wants to do, and if we don't have disparate enough education standards as it is, this would certainly do it. I myself have twins who were born with what was considered to be severe autism, and I was told to institutionalize them. They're now both in college on full scholarships, one studying environmental engineering, the other one studying neurobiology. Wow. They both still have lots of problems related to their autism, but they were brought up through specialized programs in Montgomery County public schools that really made it able for them to blossom. And as you know, people move to Montgomery County because they have such good special education programs, and we just happened to be here, which was wonderful. So I could go on for days about that, but I won't. I'm now going to go to climate change deniers. I was at the first few negotiations as a senior staff member of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, where you had 185 countries coming together and really talking past each other. They all knew that climate change was an issue. None of them knew how to address it. They all had different ideas because there are different structures in government, different economic situations, different levels of development, everything you could think of. And so it seemed like after each negotiation, we were further behind than when we started. Well, 2 years ago, in 2015, the U.S. signed with 194 other nations, there was 195 total, to the Paris Accord that laid out plainly the steps that different countries were promising to follow to meet a global warming limit of 1.5 degrees Celsius, hoping to head off some of the very, very dangerous things that would happen if we got to 2 degrees Celsius warming. Well, now President Trump has decided that we shouldn't be in that anymore. Now, this is not a game that you can join and leave and join and leave and everything's going to be the same. The United States has the largest per capita emission of greenhouse gases. We leave the game. Climate change keeps going, except that we keep emitting at a higher level than everyone else in the world. And we can't, when New York City is flooded or the subways in Manhattan are flooded again, say, oops, we made a mistake, we're coming back in. Because the other countries of the world, even if they work together, cannot overcome the amount of emissions the U.S. would be putting out while they're not in the treaty. And this, I have to say, is this treaty took 25 years to build. And it's probably one of the few things that the member nations of the globe have a consensus on. And for the United States to turn its back on that has diplomatic implications as well as implications as to how we live. And it has a very chilling effect, even on the passing around of information. There was supposed to be in February, the CDC was sponsoring a climate change and health summit for all of the public health administration people in all of the states, just to tell them this is what you should be looking for, this is what we think is going to happen, this is what we can help, to stop from happening, this is some treatments you may have to have on hand. And the CDC canceled it. They weren't told to cancel it, but they did not want to anger those that have been appointed to the Trump administration in energy, environmental protection, and agriculture, and have their budgets cut for informing Americans about what they really need to know. And with that, I'll get off my high horse.